Hi everyone, Bernard here. Welcome to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And we have a big match preview today, don't we? I don't like put these guys up. I mean, anything to do with this shower across the road. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool City fan, but hey, I have to be a bit pragmatic now, don't I? I'm an older guy. I've got to be more normal now. I can't call it the Swamp. It has to be Old Trafford. I can't call them Rags. They have to be United fans. Well, I can because I just did. But hey, there you go. Yeah, we've got a Carabao Cup. It's our cup. Nobody else's cup. It's our cup. Yeah, the Carabao Cup. There was a little image on there, wasn't there? With that, I'd had that taken obviously in the souvenir shop, if you know there. But I had the Premier League trophy with me as well. I was a bit gutted because they were supposed to have all 4 trophies there that day, but obviously we ended up getting a picture of just the League Cup and the Premier League title. So I was a bit gutted with my lad. We thought all the Charity Shield and the FA Cup were going to be there as well, which I do have a FA Cup one separate, which for an older one, but I've never had a picture with the Community Shield, it's called, isn't it? Not the Charity Shield, but Charity Shield in my day. So anyway, that was disappointing. Anyway, it's our cup. They're not going to take it off us, are they? No way, no. So we play United in the Carabao Cup one-legged semi-final this time because of the circumstances. As I'm recording this, I'm just a few hours after apparently we've all gone back into national lockdown again. I mean, obviously I'll still be doing my little supermarket thing that started last time the COVID thing kicked off. But yeah, it's not looking good, is it? But elite sports are still okay, certainly for the time being. But again, as I'm recording this, Derby County, I know they're not Premier League, but I've had lots of players with positive tests, so it's going to be. It could be interesting, couldn't it? If they're ever gonna call the season off, obviously City are looking good now, aren't we? So perhaps we'll do it now, As while Liverpool are struggling a little bit, so perhaps he will call it off just at this stage, If they were going to call it off, I mean, you couldn't probably find a more reasonable time, but obviously we'd have plenty to moan about, won't we? Because we're on the up and up. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll talk about the Carabao Cup today. Sky Sports, 7:45pm kickoff. We'll have a look at our opponents today. Of course, we'll have the history boys, some League Cup history, odds on the game with my just for fun bets, please. I don't condone gambling in any way. Our regular magazine City feature, what's going on around the club, just 3 or 4 things today to talk about. Yeah, please, if you're new to this channel and you've not subbed, please do so. That'd be fantastic. Please, thumbs ups are always nice. It's nice to get views, but it's love to get thumbs up. You know, I like comments. I love even better. But if you can just give us a thumbs up, that's great. I mean, I love doing these. I love getting views, but it's nice to know you're out there and you're supporting me, and I do my best for you, sort of thing. So if you can do that, that's wonderful. I do City history, as you know, City present, City quizzes, lots of different things. So if any City supporting friends on Twitter and Facebook, point me in my direction as well. That'd be fantastic if you can spread the word. That'd be wonderful. And if you check my playlist, I do stuff on my film and TV channel as well. So if you're into films and TV, I do information vlogs and film reviews, drama reviews. Try to have a bit of fun on there as well, a bit of entertainment. So if you like what you see and you like your films and TV, have a look at that as well. Seek some of those out. And again, if anyone you know might be interested, please point me in my direction. And there's a couple of links there for Facebook and Twitter. So I do post stuff on Facebook and Twitter. So if you follow and friend me on there, I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Right, the history boys. Here we go. We've got plenty of history, haven't we? With United, not the Rags, with United. Yeah, in the League Cup, we've actually played at Old Trafford 5 times, but we've only won 1. So that was obviously the last time we were there. We've won 1, drawn 1, and lost 3. So not great. So that's 6 goals scored and 8 goals against. It's even worse in the FA Cup. I know we're not looking at the FA Cup. We've played 5 at Old Trafford and lost them all. So we have to start rebalancing that, don't we? We have to start getting a few more wins at Old Trafford in the Cups, never mind the league. Yeah, last time, of course, it was the last year, almost to the day. It was the 7th of January last year, so almost to the day, really, just a day out. We beat them in over 2 legs, and of course the game at Old Trafford took place on the 7th of January, and was our first, as I just mentioned there, was our first recorded win in a competitive cup competition at Old Trafford. It wasn't a full house, he didn't sell all the tickets, so we did obviously, but so they could have given us a few more, couldn't they? But we did turn up that day, we did a bit like the Chelsea game in a way, wasn't it? We absolutely tore them apart in that first half. A nice comfortable 3-0 win. We did allow Rashford to get a goal back, and it was 70th minute. So, but it didn't overly worry us for the last 20 minutes. But it should have been 4, 5, or 6 by half time. To be honest with you, again, we didn't have a striker on the pitch, so there you go. No change there. And there's a game later on. I've got one in the past. I'm going to talk about in a minute, where it was exactly the same problem. Goals from Bernardo, Mahrez, and an own goal from Pereira, of course, under pressure, so you couldn't really blame him. Two other games, there's two other games. One I went to, one I didn't, but interesting enough. So look at the first one. That's the programme for the away game. I didn't actually attend that game, so I've actually written the scores on the bottom there. I know some people used to write. I never used to like defacing my programme. I used to cut them up and put them on the wall, but I never used to like writing on them. But I never used to do that. So that was December the 17th, 1969. Yeah, it was a 2-2 draw. Interesting game. I mean, obviously, as I said, I didn't attend it, but I went to the Main Road first leg, which was a fantastic game, a pulsating 2-1 home win at Main Road a couple of weeks previous to that. It was fantastic. Set us up for a great second leg, and the second leg didn't disappoint, certainly not for the neutral. 63,418 were in attendance. City took the lead through Ian Bowyer, fantastic Ian Bowyer. Never got as much appreciation as perhaps he deserved. I think I did a little bit on him in one of my City Pass vlogs and his trip then to Nottingham Forest, etc. United's Edwards equalised quite soon after, and they took the lead on 59 minutes through a certain Dennis Law sort of gave them the lead on 59 minutes. But a very, very unusual thing. It's a cracking game because the United keeper Stepney made a bit of a boo-boo, and it sort of cost United the game because in the 82nd minute we had an indirect free kick. And Francis Lee just absolutely blasted it. It didn't touch United play, didn't touch anybody. But Stepney just had the desire to save it. So he actually blocked it, which he didn't need to do. If he'd let it go and go into the goal, it would have been a goal kick for United because it was indirect. But obviously some people give him the benefit of doubt and said he thought he might have seen a deflection. But to me, it seemed quite clear. But in the hubbub of a big game like that, I suppose, you could perhaps forgive him a little bit. But he did block the shot. He saved it, but unfortunately he didn't hold it. And it went out to Mr. Summerby, who put the equaliser in. So unusual way of getting through, but we had a bit of a laugh that night, and but some people forget that. They look at the 2-2, oh, great game, 2-2, but yeah, it's sort of Mr. Stepney we have to thank for that. I mean, the teams that night, just for your information, United's was Stepney, Edwards. I can only think of, obviously not Duncan Edwards. I can only think of, I can't think of his first name, but I'm not too well. Even some City players I can't remember. Dunn, Styles, Ian Yore, Sadler, Morgan, Creran, Charlton, Lauren Best, and the substitute was a certain Brian Kidd as well. City's team that night was a young Corrigan, Joe Corrigan, Buck, Pardo, Doyle, Booth, Oakes, Summerby, Dave Connor, Lee, Young, and of course Bowyer, who scored one of the goals. And Bob Owen was the unused sub, and I'm sure it's Bobby Owen, isn't it? I'm fairly sure. If I get these wrong, please forgive me. I do forget over time, and sometimes I write these things down and then forget. Oh, I should have checked who that was, but I'm fairly sure it's Bobby Owen he had a bit of like an afro haircut, didn't he? From what I remember. Yeah, so there you go. We were through 4-3 in aggregate, and of course we went on to beat West Brom in the final, didn't we? 2-1. And the one I did attend, the one up there, I did attend. This was the 9th of October 1974. It was my second trip to Old Trafford. I started going the season before to away games. My first ever away game was Liverpool in the FA Cup in the mid-70s. 73, was it? 74? So that was my first ever away game. So I'd started going to a lot of away games, and I did go, obviously, to this one. But it was noticeable, wasn't it? I mean, we actually lost this one 1-0. Attendance 55,225. A guy called Daly got theirs. It was a penalty, but it was the team that day for United was Stepney again, Forsyth, Albiston, Greenough, Holton, Buchan, Morgan, McElroy, Pearson, McCalliog. There's an image of him there, I think, on screen. And the sub was Lou Macaria. For City, it was McRae in net. Yeah, the wonderful Scottish keeper. Jeff Hammond, Pardo, Doyle, Clark. That's Jeff Clark as well, I think. Oakes, Summerby, Belt, Marsh, Hartford and Chewett, and sub was Peter Barnes. So we had quite a good team out. I mean, you say there's an image there. Jeff Hammond's on the image as well with Keith McRae, with McCalliog, the United player. It was a little embarrassing because obviously, as you know, my first trip to Old Trafford was the famous Dennis Law back heel, and that was the game before this. So we'd just done that, and obviously United was sat in the second division at the time, and so this was my second trip to Old Trafford. A bit depressing to say the least. United were top of Division 2, which is fair enough. They were playing well. I think they'd played 10 or 11 games and were top. I think they'd lost one all season, but we were doing okay. I think we were third in the first division. We were doing quite well, but it was going to be really a frustrating night for City that night. Bell and Summerby particularly missed sort of chances. And we'd only scored 2 goals in our previous 4 games, even though we're quite high up the league. So we're going for a bit of a goal drought. We weren't really quite putting it into the onion bag, and it was sort of quite an even game. I think City, United had more clearer chances than City, but obviously it wasn't till the 78th minute from Jeff Clark handballed across into the box. I think it was legitimate. I don't think it was a referee's a dodgy one. I think it was a fair enough decision, and of course it was the penalty they scored that separated the teams on the night. But it was a bit embarrassing. As I said, it wasn't that long after we demolished them and they were down in the 2nd division, so it was a bit of a coup for United at the time. They would go on to lose in the semi-finals actually to 2nd division current their 2nd division guys, Norwich City, obviously in the same division as United. They were doing quite well. I think they were quite high up the league as well, Norwich City, but they did get knocked out in the semi. So yeah, that's the 2 interesting games that I had some connection with in some way there. How are they doing? Of course, the route to the semi-final. They overcame Luton Town 3-0, 3-0 at Brighton and 2-0 at Everton. So that's not too bad, is it? Unbeaten in 7 matches in all competitions as they approach this game. No goals conceded in this League Cup, so we're going to have to break that run, aren't we? Right, my little thoughts. I mean, VAR's back. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Possibly against United a bad thing, but it's not worked out that badly for us, I don't think, the last couple of times. We've got 30 minutes extra time, of course, so there's... and then penalties after that, so at least we get a bit of extra time. I'm sure we won't get a repeat of the league game a few weeks ago. I'm sure that's not going to happen. City in a far better place. United probably, yeah, again, they're probably more confident, although they're not great at Old Trafford compared to their away form. And this is our 4th visit now in the last 12 months. So it's getting a bit boring, isn't it? Getting a bit monotonous. I do expect a strong City team. Bernardo's misses this because he's banned, silly idiot. But there you go. I mean, I would have loved it because he played really well against Chelsea. Anything similar to that Chelsea display, even for a half, and it should be enough to get us through, shouldn't surely. But yeah, I think we're both going into this with confidence. I must admit, last week United fans were a bit more gobby than they were after the Chelsea game. You know, they were obviously threatening what they were going to do to us at my place of work. But they were gone a little bit quiet after that Chelsea thing, which was great. We were really good and we did very, very well. But I'm not, it'd be interesting to see, won't it? We need to take these performances, keep taking them forward and improve. So yeah, I expect a really good game, but I think as you'll see from my predictions and in a moment, I think we'll win it. We should win. I'm more confident now than perhaps I was a few days ago, to be honest with you. United didn't make it past 3 semi-finals last season, did they? They got to 3 semis and lost them all. So let's make it 4 on the try. Let's do that. For United, Lindelof is a doubt. I think he's missed a couple of games with a back problem. Probably picking up his wage packet, something like that, I'm not sure. But yeah, so he's a doubt. Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo, is it? Or Rocco? I have no idea. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Are still absent, long-term absentees, of course. And Cavani will serve his 2nd of a 3-match ban, the naughty boy. My lineup? Well, I'm going for this. As I say, I'm doing this a couple of days before. I have no idea how they've come out of the Chelsea game. I have no idea which players have got COVID and which haven't. I've just lost all. So I've gone basically with the Chelsea team, plus I think just one change, I think. So I'm going to go Stefan, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Zinchenko. And I'm going to stick Fernandinho in there to start the game instead of Rodri. Gundogan, KDB, Foden, Aguero and Sterling. But I've stuck Aguero in there. If Aguero's not playing, I'll put Mahrez in and perhaps KDB will play number 9 again with Mahrez and Sterling on the wings. So, yeah, if there's no Aguero, as I said, all right. But obviously, as far as who's in the team, I'll take it on the chin if it ends up that it's obviously Aguero's not playing. But, yeah, it is an either or, that one as such. I should have put in brackets, shouldn't have, Mahrez, but there you go. Anyway, let's see how many I got right on this one. As I said, I think we're a bit limited with the COVID and injuries anyway, so I think that's more or less, I think he will play a strong team, and I think that'll be it. The match officials, Martin Atkinson's refereeing. The linos, Harry Leonard and Nick Hopton. 4th official, David Coote. On VAR, we have, well, it's probably good for him. He might have to get a big chair for him to sit in, though. Jonathan Moss is on VAR, and his assistant is Lee Betts. Yeah, my score prediction, I'll tell you how that ties up with the betting odds in a moment. I'm going to be brave today with all my odds. You'll see from my little bets. I'm going to be positive on this one. I've not been overly positive the last few weeks with City, but I'm going to go positive again, which probably will backfire on me as it normally will. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory. I was nearly thinking of 3-0, but I thought, no, I'll give them a goal. There's VAR after all, and they do tend to get a penalty, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 City win. And here we go, looking at the odds. Let's have a look at the odds of the game. I'm just look for the value, really, in this one. To win the cup, to win the Carabao Cup, it's our cup. It's nobody else's cup, it's our cup. City are 6-5 favourites. United are 7-2, so that'll be interesting. As we're recording this, obviously Tottenham and Brentford haven't played, so I'm not going to say what their odds are, but that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I think anything less than a Tottenham victory will be very, very unusual, so hoping for a City-Tottenham final, That'll be interesting. Let's get a little bit of revenge. Last time against Chelsea, I got a nice 4-point profit on the day. I had Gundogan to score any-time goal scorer. I did miss out on the goal. I did have City 2-1 as well, but I missed out on that slightly. But a nice 4-point profit after Gundogan scored. 6-1 on that one, so I've made a nice 4-point profit. But as I said, I don't in any way condone gambling, and only ever gamble what you can afford. This is just a bit of fun, just a bit of extra interest, and just a bit of information for any of you guys out there who like a little small flutter on these games. The match odds, City are evens. That's not bad, is it? So you know where I'm going with this one. Draws 5-2 and United are 14-5. So I'm going to go 5 points. I'm going to go mad. I'm going to be bold today. I'm going to go 5 points on a City win. So 5 points on evens. I've took that. I'll take that. No problem. So that'll be another 5 points back in the pocket, won't it? First goal scorer, 7-2 Aguero. We're not sure if he's playing. Sterling's 4-1. That's not bad. KDB 7-1. At least he scored, didn't he, against Chelsea? So he's still a bit lackluster in front of goal, but hey, you might give him a little bit of confidence anyway. But look at that Cancelo. Cancelo's an interesting one. He's got a. I think everyone wants him to score. He's at 35-1 to be first goal scorer. That's an interesting one, so I won't put you off that one. United, if you think United are going to score, that's an interesting one. Fernandes is 7-1 when you think of the penalty situation that they always seem to get. That's not a bad price. Martial is 13-2, Rashford's 7-1, and Pogba, if you fancy Pogba, he likes to score against City, don't he, if he plays? I'm not sure what the position is with him, to be honest, with that big lumbering dope in the middle. Pogba's 18-1. Both teams to score. 4-6 is yes, so a bit restrictive. There's more value in the no, so 11-8 if you fancy both teams not to score. So there's potential there if you think one of the teams will keep a clean sheet. The correct scores, if you fancy a draw, some people were predicting a draw. I may have done if we hadn't performed so well against Chelsea in 90 minutes, obviously. 0-0 is 12-1, 1-1 is 13-2, and 2-2 is 12-1. But of course, I always have a little go on this correct score. So I said my 3-1, that's 14-1, 3-1. So I'm going to have a go on that. I'm going to have a point on that, but I'll also cover it and do 2-1 as well. So I'm going to go 2-1 and 3-1. 2-1's 15-2, so I'll have a point on that. If you fancy 1-0, it's 8-1. 2-0 is 9-1. 1-0 for United is 12-1. 2-0 for United is 18-1, and 2-1 for United, which is probably, if United are going to win, I'm probably thinking that might be it, or 1-0 even, based on past experiences, but 11-1 for 2-1 for United. Half-time, full-time, City 9-4, that's not bad. United 5-1, draw and City's 4-1. Again, both of those, City and draw and City, you could split, you could Dutch your bets and make a little bit of profit on that one. 15 draw and a draw is 5, and City and United, a draw in United is 15-2. Anytime goal scorers, I'm going to have my last bet on here, so I've gone mad today, 4 bets. Aguero is 17-5. Is he playing? We don't know. Sterling is 13-8. And KDB's gone out, though. He's 11-5. So I always have a quick go on KDB. Anytime goal scorer who could get a penalty, and he said he has at least scored a goal recently. So I'm going to go 2 points on KDB at 11-5. Foden's 11-4. For United, Fernandes is 11-5. Again, that's not bad odds. If United fan, have a go on that. It's similar to KDB. He takes the penalties, so why not? If he plays, I don't know how United are going to approach this. I'm sure they'll play the strongest team. Martial 13-5. Rashford 23-10. Pogba 7-1. Or Pog something, as we like to say, but I'm not going to swear badly on this little vlog. And the penalty in the match, absolutely interesting. Boyles are offering 19-10 on there being a penalty. Yes, there being a penalty. That's not bad. So if you go on to Boyles, I would say is one of the first people to close my account when I used to make loads of money. But Boyles are 19-10 for a penalty in the match. That's an interesting one. An extra time. If you think there's going to be extra time, I think it's going to be a draw and a tight game. Bet365 are offering 11-2 on the being extra time. So there's another little bet, just a couple I threw in there that you might have took your interest. Let me know what you're doing anyway. If you're having a little flutter, let me know what you're having a go at. And just a quick one, just 3 or 4 things on the magazine feature. Of course, there's a lot of joy after the Chelsea game, and obviously how this COVID's going to affect elite teams now, etc., etc. And obviously we're carrying on for now, but who knows? And we got some great images there. What a best way to start. I'd start with some snowmen. Some fans, I think City after some images of City snowmen. So I've got 6 or 7 up there that I came across that are really, really good. I mean, I don't know what your favourite is of those snowmen on the screen, but it was nice to see. I mean, there's one round the corner from me with a Chevrolet shirt, and I just felt like kicking it over, to be honest with you. But I should grow up, shouldn't I, really? So I didn't. I left it there, but I didn't like it sat there in the front garden of a house as I have to walk past every morning. So I did get the urge to knock it over, but hey, I'm a big kid really. But there you go. Didn't look as good as our ones anyway. The City ones up there. Yeah, my favourite. Probably I called him Peter Beagrie, the one standing on his head. I was thinking of the Peter Beagrie goal celebrations where he did his somersault and went over his head. So yeah, that's my, not the greatest to look at, but that's my favourite because of the ingenuity of it. So I called it my Peter Beagrie snowman. So I don't know what your favourite is. If you want to make a comment below, please do so. But it's nice. If you've got any pictures, send them to me on Twitter and Facebook. I'll include them in one of these in the next couple of weeks. But I mean, the snow's sort of thawing out now, so I'm sure. But we may get some more by the weekend. Yeah, so that's great on the snowmen there, fantastic. And whoever's those snowmen are, my thanks and great job, kids. If any of you are watching this, fantastic. Yeah, we're not really here. The City thing, obviously you've got Sean Goulter appearing on that with Jolie and Lescott are the guests on the Matchday show, and they'll be joined, of course, by presenter Natalie Pike. I think her name's changed. I think she's divorced this year. I'm not too sure. I don't know much about the lady. They'll be providing their expert analysis before kick-off at half-time and after the full-time whistle. So that's your sort of thing. We're not really here. Sean Goulter and Mr. Lescott, fantastic. An interesting fun fact. I'm not checked on this. I assume if it's put it out there, it must be right. I'm not. I didn't see anyone saying it wasn't correct. I mean, obviously when we do make these mistakes, we do get people correcting us, which is fair enough. Obviously if you're trying to be factual and you cock it up, you should be told. But yeah, at Mediovon, Mediovon in capital letters. Commented, I don't know where he got his information from, if every single shot on target City faced at home, so at the Etihad, in the 17-18 season had gone in, we would have still won the league. So that was an interesting fact. Yeah, I mean, I say we didn't need a good defence, did we? We sort of restricted how much they added the ball, and we seem to be allowing teams to have a bit more of the ball now, so that's why we need a good defence. So finally Pep's realised, so there you go. So that was interesting. And my last thing, I was a bit cruel on Twitter. I did say make sure I did wish the lad good luck and make sure the door doesn't knock you on the back as you're leaving, sort of thing. But yeah, Eric Garcia. This is a Daily Mail. I've not seen it on the City site or anything. Confirmed it's agreed personal terms with Barcelona. The Daily Fail, I should say, shouldn't it? Not the Daily Mail. I'm not sure but I don't think I'll be doing a player special of him. But all the best to him. If things, I mean, just because we love the club doesn't mean other players do, does it? At the end of the day, and some players perhaps do love the club, but perhaps are not seeing the right future, which is fair enough. So we shouldn't be overly clinical. My only complaint with Garcia was he obviously was clearly Pep had it in the back of his mind, he could convince him to stay. Obviously, it wasn't going to happen, wasn't it? He kept playing him and putting him in squads, and he shouldn't have done. He just shouldn't have done. He should have said, "Okay, mate, we appreciate that, but we'll put you back where you belong. We won't put you in the first team. You're denying another potential young player the chance, aren't you, who wants to play for City." So that was my main fault with Garcia. I have no qualms about any player leaving City. If they want to leave City, that's absolutely fine. They're not like us. If not, it's not in the blood, is it, like it is us? So, when we do see players who look as though they love the club, your Companies, your Zabalettas, who obviously not born here, but they come here and become City through and through. And obviously you've got your Harwood Bellases and your Fodens, etc., Tommy Doyles, who love the club. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is the passion, isn't it, boy? This is being a City fan, and whether you're over the other side of the world, if you have that same passion for my club, I'm well happy for you, much appreciated. But yeah, Garcia, good luck, mate. But to say, I've not had that confirmed that he's definitely going yet, but this is just an article in the Daily Fail, and we all know it is going to happen, I'm sure. So I'm sure that will happen quite soon. And that's it today. Thanks for joining me. Of course, I'll be back with a review on this. I will be working early hours on Thursday morning, so it will be perhaps mid-afternoon by the time I get this out on the vlogger review of the United game on Thursday afternoon. So please forgive me on that. But obviously, when you're doing other things, obviously when you have to pay the bills, I'd love to do this full time and etc. Like certain people, perhaps other people do. But I like to put a lot into these things. I like to do a lot of research and mess about. You wouldn't think so, would you? Research, somewhat research, yeah. But obviously a 20-minute vlog can take up to 6 or 8 hours sometimes to put together, which is. That with one full-time job and one part-time job, it's quite hard work. But yeah, I'll be back for that anyway Thursday. You don't want to know that, do you? You don't care, do you? Poor old Bernard, stop whinging, get on with it. I will do. Yeah, so that's Thursday afternoon. I'll be back with that, and please check out my recent City Pass vlog. There's a couple due out in the next few days. I look back at the third round FA Cup tie on the 3rd of January 1970 against Hull City, where there was an interesting homage paid to City by Hull, which was nice to see. So that was good. And there will be that was the week that was coming out, covering obviously the Chelsea and United games in the next 2 or 3. Well, there will be from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not sure what day. Yeah, I'll have to sit down and do that. I try and get I've not even done the Chelsea questions yet. I'll have to do that. So that'll be coming out. Please give me your support. That's wonderful. As I said, thumbs up tonight. Anyway, it's lovely to spend time with you, and it keeps me going doing these things. As I say, I'm not 100% some of the time, but this keeps me up. This keeps me at it, and you keep me on my toes. Thanks for joining me now for this big match preview. What are we going to do with this day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, we must all look after each other. And please, until we meet again here on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you flit across to my TV and film channel, have a look at that. Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City, we can do it. See you later.